I didn't realize that living in the United States was slowly causing me and you to die. From depression, obesity, lifestyle, unhappiness, and divorce rates, there's some serious things going on, which there's some statistics to back that up. So why did I make the change of coming to the Amazon rainforest to live here? Before, I used to worry about what clothes I put on. Now I just slap anything on because, dude, I'm just in the jungle. I'm here. I'm living. I'm finally free. I feel free. That's why I moved to the Amazon jungle about 20 years old, and I've been here for almost 3 years, just about. And this is how my lifestyle changed, my happiness changed, my love life changed. Basically, my entire world, my entire universe, my entire reality has changed. Now, why did I do this? First, we need to look at statistics and what Americans looked like back then, and now what they look like now. In America, this lifestyle is considered normal. Drive everywhere, sit all day, eat processed food, and scroll for hours. People are exhausted before they can even turn 30, and obesity rates are skyrocketing. Depression and anxiety are everywhere, and almost half of marriages end in divorce. But then I came here, the Amazon jungle. There's no skyscrapers, no noise, no constant stimulation. And I started noticing something. My body changed, my life changed, and my mind changed, my relationships changed. Now, let's look at some statistics. One thing that shocked me was the obesity in the United States. The majority of American adults are overweight slash obese, right? And you can see it literally everywhere. Everywhere. And after eating foods where on the ingredients list there's probably over 100 ingredients, people can't even move anymore, which they're unable to walk from obesity, but they're still getting chips, they're still getting soda in their carts. And I think that's a big problem. Which again, the average American looked like this 100 years ago, which now they look like this. But what really happened here? Just so I don't get this wrong, I have my statistics right here. The US obesity rate is 37%, which that doesn't include like the children, because the children are, because some parents don't know any better. And meanwhile, here in the Amazon, the children are eating grub worms, the children are eating all natural foods, but the parents in the United States don't know any better, or maybe they can't afford any better. And the children are also being extremely overweight and obese too. I wonder what that statistic looks like. If anyone wants to look that up and let me know down in the comments, that's cool too. And from all this processed sugar, you can imagine this. Check this out. Check this out. What's the population of the United States? Like 350 million, 360 million? Over 13%, I think like 13.9%. I have to read my statistics sheet right here again. But 13.9% has diabetes. And of course, I don't have to get much into that because everyone, practically knows. If you haven't been living under a rock, there's a huge like health trend going on right now. Everyone knows that this lifestyle ends people, right? This lifestyle decreases your way of living. It really does. It really does. I mean, if you don't feel, and I'm not the leanest guy ever, right? I'm not the most healthiest guy. I still, have my Diet Coke, which has aspartame or what's it called? The aspartame, right? Which, that's probably slowly killing me too. So I have my little cheat days as well. But to have this consistently be in your way of life for your entire life, of course, you don't have to be born under a rock. That it has some serious problems. But meanwhile, here in the Amazon, people walk constantly. They work outside, they eat simpler foods, and they, all around live a better life and a more advantageous life, health wise. And they also get sunlight every single day, while most Americans are, stuck inside. Here, I wake up every single day, I take my shirt off, I go outside and walk barefoot, and I go get some fresh fruit from my trees. I go eat some cacao for breakfast. I eat fruit for breakfast. No pesticides. I don't spray any pesticides. Not GMO. Just all natural fruit, literally from my backyard, just right over there. So I started naturally losing fat without obsessing over it. I still kind of count my calories and know not to eat candy, but I'm not like actively being like, okay, I eat this many calories, I weigh out this much food. Like that, I'm not that try hard with it. But I became leaner, stronger, and had more energy every single day. Like right now, I'm bursting with energy in this life. And it felt like my body was finally doing what it was designed to do. Then there's depression, which practically doesn't exist here. But I'm a big statistics guy and I don't want to spread misinformation. So let's go and dive right into those statistics. In 2026, 20% of all Americans have depression, which I kind of understand why. Humans weren't designed to sit inside all day staring at glowing screens. We evolved around sunlight, movement, tribe, aka community, and nature. But modern life disconnects people from all of that. You can live in a city surrounded by a million people, all of whom which you don't know. You're walking in the street and people don't smile at you anymore. Maybe like a small percentage of people walk up to you and say, "Hey, how are you? How's your day going? Are you all right?" But versus down here, everyone's such a tight-knit community, and genuinely cares for you and wonders what you're doing and wonders what you've been up to and wonders if you're okay. Hey, want to go, grab some lunch with me? Do you want to go make some lunch with me? Do you want to go out fishing with me? Do you want to go out on a hike with me here? It's completely, completely, completely different. Another huge thing that I've noticed was the divorce rates, right? With what I mentioned earlier. In the United States, the divorce rate's around 50%. So that means if you go out and get married, there's a 50% likelihood that your entire life will fall apart eventually. Like considering you love them and you care for them, and I mean, would you gamble your life on a 50% in the United States? I'm sure I wouldn't, and in fact I know I wouldn't. And not to mention, even outside of marriage, the one night stand culture is also destroying Americans, destroying for men and the women are also destroying Americans because I'm religious, right? I believe that marriage is very sacred. Okay, and that's just how I grew up, and that's how I am, and that's what I believe in. Um, I believe that breaking and destroying the nuclear family unit, the mom and the dad, and the few kids you have to have one support structure, I think that's what we're really lacking here. Like, when was the last time? Like, I don't even think back when I lived in the United States, I don't even think I remember the last time like everyone got together as a family to eat. Like, granted, that's anecdotal, my personal experience, but let me know down in the comments. Like, do you still go out like with your family to eat? But here's the thing: here, family still feels real. The love still feels real. Everyone gets together. Everyone eats together. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone, because in the big cities like Cuenca or in Quito, I'm sure that's still actually no. Most families that I've been to in Cuenca, they also still do that. But I'm not saying that in the big cities that's like non-existent. No one like doesn't eat with their family anymore. But what I am saying is here in the Amazon, specifically in like these tight niche what's the word tight knit these tight knit indigenous communities or these tight knit like, families here. Everyone every single night. I don't think I've seen a single family that doesn't do this. Doesn't eat together. They always eat together, and they always enjoy their time together. Now, let's go inside the statistics. Remember, guys, I have my notes here. I'm not pulling this, out of just thin air, okay? For the Amazon region specifically, because we're talking about the Amazon here, I live in the Amazon, anthropologists and sociologists generally describe traditional indigenous communities in places like Morona, Santiago, or in the Oriente, the eastern side. That's where I'm at. I'm way down in the east. They have stronger extended family structures, more community involvement in relationships, lower formal marriage registration, but have historically lower legal divorce rates than the US. But here's the caveat, right? Here's the thing. Down here, people don't get married as often because it's a totally different thing, right? They don't go to the government to go get married, right? The indigenous communities, or mainly most people here. So there is less documented, like legal marriages. But from what I've seen here, everyone sticks together because that's the only thing you have, right? To survive, to live, to build a great and amazing, wonderful life, you always have to stick together. And of course, there's those one off cases, okay? Of course, there is. My personal experience with everything has just completely changed my life. From being together with families to finally having the number one priority is your family. The number one priority is building something with the group of the people you love the most. It's completely different, and I would never change that for the entire world. I'm sure I've had some struggles here. Whenever I came down here, of course I didn't know the language, so that was number one. And number two, a lot of it was superficial because some people seek you out because you're a foreigner. But if you're the normal person here, usually you gotta still have your head on top of your shoulders, but it's gonna be for love, and people stick together much longer here. I eat all natural foods every single day. I have my chickens right over there, my all natural chickens, grass fed, everything. They're led around, which I got to clean up the poop every once in a while. But usually, I would say 90% of the time, they're just off foraging in all of my farmland with all the beautiful green grass. But here's the thing: I'm selling this like it's a dream, but let's talk about the bad things. The bad things is that there is a drinking culture here, which I don't drink and I hate alcohol. I really do. I hate it with my entire heart. But alcohol is like, it's not really like you can use it as a party thing here, but people are like, hey, you want, a glass of wine? Do you want some beer? Do you want, like there's people on a Sunday afternoon just out in the park drinking beer, which I'm not, you know, I don't think that's normal, but of course it's not, it's not my culture here. That's not what I raised up to be. I don't really like drinking like that. So that's the bad part. Another bad part is you don't really have much of like the modern, pleasures. Like the modern pleasures, you can't go to Chick-fil-A. So that's a good thing and also a bad thing. But dude, I would kill for some Wendy's right now. Just to have it like one more time, you know, just to bite into that wonderful juicy burger that has all that like processed foods that makes it, because it's so good, because it's like processed and addicting. That's why it's so good. Also, I a majority of things here you can just completely switch out by having a higher income, but I'm still building my life here. I don't have of course you've seen in my earlier videos, my shower over there is kind of ghetto and doesn't really work and doesn't really have hot water. And I do have a laundry machine though, so that's what's really, really good. But most people here wash their clothes by hand, but thank God I have a laundry machine, because I low-key needed to have that, because I only have a few pairs of clothes and I can't wash it every single day. I have to like wash it and then dry it, but I can't wait to let this sit out in the sun every single day. So my experience coming here, as you know, was amazing. It was amazing coming here. It was like a whole new culture shock, and it took me a few months to get used to it, like with the language barrier, with not being able to talk to people at all. It was a tough one. It was Google Translate. I was basically the Google Translate guy. But now, of course, I'm not as comfortable as I am in English, like I'm talking to you guys right now, but I'm still able to kind of conversate, communicate, and have a great time with people. Do I recommend you trying this and completely leaving everything in the United States to come here and live here? You know what? For 99% of people, I really genuinely don't. But listen, if you do want to, I would come here and stay for maybe like 3 months, right? That's the tourist visa. The tourist visa is 90 days. My camera ran out of memory. But I would come here for 3 months just to check it out, just to feel it out. And if you don't like it, you can always go back, right? You can always go back early. I wouldn't, jump the gun on it. But if you don't want to live in the Amazon, you can always live in Cuenca or Quito, right? You can go to like the big cities in Colombia, or although like in Peru, right, to live here. Or maybe, hell, dude, if you even want to, you can go to the beach, right, and live there. But just whatever works for you and whatever you like. Like if you still want modern pleasures and modern luxuries, go to the big cities. It's still going to be way cheaper. You're still going to get better, value for your dollar, better buying power for the U.S. dollar, but with all of the pleasures of modern life. But here in the Amazon, I'm not a city guy. I'm not a city guy, so that's why I specifically chose here to live out of any place in the entire world. This will always be my home base, my HQ. So I grew up in Missouri, so I'm kind of like a little country guy. I've always, been outside. I've always explored. I've always loved outside. So that's why this is perfect for me. So if you're homesteading here in the U.S., then you know what? You probably like it here. Why not? But here's the thing: you have to have an income. The only problem here is the economy. The economy is, if you want to work for $5 to $10 a day, then you know what? Go for it. But you're gonna need an online income or some sort of income. And if you do, you could actually start seriously considering it. But again, I wouldn't recommend it to jump the gun. I would at least come down here first, spend like 3 months here, then go back to USA, just kind of feel it out first. You have to feel everything out. And I just wanted to make this video just to like put out some information in the mindscape, right? And of course, not every American is living like this. There's some people living like amazing, wonderful, healthy, outside nature lives in the United States. Of course there is. But from everything that we've seen, of course, there's some problems. And with those problems, there are solutions. So this may be a solution for you. It's for something for you to think about. Maybe you liked the video, it was entertaining, and maybe if you don't even move to another country, I hope you still enjoyed it. My personal experiences, all the clips I put up of showing you guys how I've lived here. So please like and please subscribe and comment down saying, hey. No, I want to see if you guys have watched the very end of the video. Comment down jungle, and I'll reply to every comment that says jungle. I'll say hi or something like that. Thank you guys. And if I annoy you with all my posts, you can always unsubscribe. So give it a shot, subscribe, and you can always change your mind later.